Welcome back to my channel. I am going to do something a little bit different today than what I normally do, which is typically I will cover one topic. However, there's been a few topics that I've been kind of like stashing away that I've been wanting to talk about that are not enough for a whole video in my mind, but I definitely think that they need mentioning, okay? So we're gonna do kind of like a Friday roundup type video. Maybe I'll make this a regular series, maybe I won't. You guys let me know in the comments box below if this is the type of stuff you need or you wanna see. And then I'll do something like this. We can mix it up with politics, celebrity news, whatever you guys want to see. Drop a comment below, give me your thoughts, and that's what I'll do. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing, and this is in no order of importance, this is just based on how I wrote it down. The first thing I want to talk about is the Time Magazine Person of the Year. So this is something that came out, I think, last week, maybe early last week. And as we all know, President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were on the cover of Time Magazine and got the title of Time Magazine Person of the Year. Now, I've been watching quite a bit of other YouTubers talk about this. People are just outraged because when you look at the other nominees, one of them being George Floyd, people are like, how is this possible that this guy got Time Magazine Person of the Year? Well, I'll tell you how. So I went on to Time Magazine, quick Google search to look up what the criteria is for this particular award. Okay, now it's more like a recognition than it is like an award. Like they're not getting, I don't know. I don't think they're getting an actual award. This is more like a recognition. But here's the criteria, and I wanted to read it out to you guys so that maybe it puts a little bit more perspective around how they got this. So it says, the criteria is the person or persons who most affect the news and our lives for good or ill, and embody what was important about the year. A lot of news is bad news, and a lot of people who make bad news are very powerful people. It states here, Times editors aren't immune to that reality. So it's not necessarily Person of the Year in terms of the greatest person of the year. It's just in terms of who they feel made the most newsworthy impact of the year, okay? I still struggle with it being Joe Biden only because I feel like, I mean, if you were going to say Joe Biden, you could easily say Trump, or you could easily say Dr. Fauci, or you could say, I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot of people that, you know, maybe a committee got together and they voted and, you know, this is who they chose. But like when you look at like the nomination for George Floyd, like I would have thought Breonna Taylor would have gotten this just because there was so much controversy around hers as well. And, you know, it seems just as much coverage. So it's very interesting how these things are, you know, figured out per se. But I will note that Trump was actually Time Magazine Person of the Year. If not last year, it was 2 years ago. And many other presidents have. We actually had Hitler as Time Magazine's Person of the Year at one point, and also Stalin, okay? So don't take this as them saying he's the greatest person of the year. It's just that they feel he was the one that made the most newsworthy headlines of the year or impacted news, okay? My personal opinion is he wouldn't have impacted the news as much if it wasn't for Trump making him as relevant as he is. I don't know. So we'll move on from that, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments box below. Now, let's just stay on the topic of President-elect Joe Biden, okay? He did an interview with, gosh, I think it was CBS. I'm sorry if I don't remember. I'll put the link to the interview in the comments box below. But there was a really funny quote that I saw. Now, I haven't seen the entire interview. I've only seen snippets of it. I don't know if the entire interview has actually been released. But I saw a quote from the interview where they were talking about all the attacks that he's received on his family. And he said, quote, he'd like to go around with anyone who has attacked his family. Now, I could not stop from laughing when I read this because immediately I thought, Joe, come on, Joe. Aren't you sitting in a boot right now because you sprained your ankle playing fetch with your dog? And you want to fight people? Come on now. Come on, man. You didn't even break your ankle. You sprained your ankle throwing a ball with your dog because your dog like ran circles, I'm assuming, around you, and you tripped over him. Dude, we all know you cannot go around with anybody, okay? I'm just saying, you're elderly, Joe. I've seen you walk off stage, you shuffle. Like, how are you really gonna go? Now, I get it. You know, he's from Scranton, okay? He's got a reputation. But there's no need for that. And come on, you act like you're the only person whose family's being attacked. First of all, how about not do something to be attacked for and nobody will be talking about your family? Look at President Trump, how much he's been attacked. All his family, even the kids in his family, little Barron Trump when he was young, you know, was getting attacked. I mean, just let's act like an adult. Like, we don't have to say, hey, like, you want to go out back and fight. It must be something from people from Scranton, Pennsylvania, that act like that. You know what I mean? But again, you know, you guys criticize Trump on how he doesn't act very presidential. And I don't think, you know, saying he wants to go around with people because they're talking about his family is a little bit immature. I mean, it's not like we're talking about how your family parts their hair or how we think that they get really bad spray tans. I mean, we're talking about really important stuff, like, you know, things that I can't mention on here because this video would get taken off YouTube. Anyways, let's move on to the next newsworthy story, which is Tom Cruise going off on the crew on the set of Mission Impossible 7. First of all, let's talk about the fact that there's a Mission Impossible 7, okay? How did we get there? And how fitting that this happened on the set of a movie called Mission Impossible. It kind of seems very fitting for the times. But anyways, I'm going to put a short clip in here really quick so you can hear what he said. The rant went on for quite a few minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing. If you want to hear the whole thing, you can go to my Instagram channel. I have posted it on my main page and you can hear it there. But take a listen and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Told you, and now I want it. And if you don't do it, you're out. We are not shutting this movie down. Is it understood? If I see it again, you're gone. And so are you. So you're going to cost him his job. And I see it on the set, you're gone. And you're gone.
All right, so you just heard him go off. Well, you heard a small snippet of him going off. And I want to know what you guys think about this. So I posted it on my Instagram page and I was just like, who the hell are you to talk to people like that and lecture them about mask wearing? Now, I had a lot of people come after me in the comments about that he had a point and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm a rational person, so I'll go back and sit on stuff for a little bit. I'll take everybody's input in. And here's my thought about it today, okay? I get it, okay? I get it. This is the industry that he works in. He's trying to make sure that people have jobs and can work. And when you work in a workplace, whether that be a movie set, whether that be an office building, whatever it is, the fact of the matter is you have to follow the rules. And if the rules of that set say that you have to do things a certain way, then yeah, I can get behind the fact that people should be following the rules if you want to continue to work on that set. It is what it is, okay? I've been there before, been on sets before where there's rules. I may not agree with them, but if you want to continue working on the project, you have to follow the rules, okay? So I'll give him that, okay? But the part that I don't like is how he went off on people and how it was more about keeping the industry alive than it was about the citizens of the United States. It was like, it seemed very selfish, if that makes sense. It seemed very like me. And if you don't do what I say, I'm going to get rid of you, okay? He is well known for going off. Like, I mean, it's well known in the industry that Tom Cruise, you know, does these little, you know, beat my chest rants, stand on chairs at the Oprah show type of situations. He's just very dramatic. And then, of course, you know, we all know he's a Scientologist. He's very, very passionate about Scientology. But I do want to know, because I just didn't take the time to research this, but if anybody out there knows anything about Scientology, I thought that Scientologists really didn't, I don't want to say they don't believe in sickness, but they're about like your mindset and like fixing your mindset into believing a certain way. I don't know. I don't even know enough to talk about it, but I just for a second thought, wait a minute, is what he's saying kind of in contradiction with what he believes? But then again, what you believe personally has no bearing in the workplace. It's my belief. I think work is work and personal is personal. Okay. So I'll give him that. But again, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments box below. I'm just annoyed with him, I think, more than anything. And I think we're all kind of fed up, and people like the whole idea of being forced to do things that we don't want to do is just annoying at this point. And I think sometimes it causes us to, like, in situations where we really have no control, you know, to kind of overreact, kind of like how I felt about it. So I don't know. I see it both ways. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is Dr. Jill Biden. Okay. So there was some controversy, apparently, that somebody attacked the fact that she uses the title doctor. Okay. Now, I want to say personally, I am in no way saying that she didn't earn the title of doctor because she went and got a doctorate. So when you go and get a doctorate, you get to use the title of doctor. I think where the problem is that people are putting her on this pedestal like she is just all knowing. In fact, Whoopi Goldberg on The View had a moment where she was talking about how she feels that Joe Biden should name Jill Biden Surgeon General because she's an amazing doctor. So I don't think, well, and then she had to be corrected. I'll play a little snippet here. I'm going to have to like break it up a little bit weirdly, but I'll play a snippet here so you guys can hear for yourself, and then we'll come back really quick and I'll talk about it and move on to the next subject.
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General, his wife. Joe Biden's wife, because she, you know, he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
I thought she was a doctor and
PhD.
Yeah, I
could be wrong.
I
think she's a teacher, but you know, might be good for Betsy DeVos's post.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so you saw that hilarious comment from Whoopi Goldberg, and then you saw that her co-host had to correct her and say, well, she has a doctorate in education. She's not actually a doctor. Okay. So I think Whoopi kind of had a little bit of egg on her face because she was almost talking about it with this certainty. Like she knew Jill was like an excellent doctor. I want to clarify. She's not a doctor in terms of a physician. And I think naturally when people see the DR, the doctor, in front of somebody's name, their mind automatically jumps to a doctor of medicine. But there's doctorates of a lot of different things, okay? And Jill Biden got her doctorate in education, okay? She works at a community college. I don't remember what exactly she teaches, but basically when you have a doctorate in an education, it allows you, you know, to obviously teach at universities, to write research papers and whatnot, because you have more knowledge than the average person with an education degree. So no, she does not deserve to be put in the place of Surgeon General. And I think that's the problem that people have, is that, again, we tend to, as a society, put people up on a pedestal that don't deserve to be there. Jill Biden's a great example, okay? We like to put criminals just because they get shot up on a pedestal because we feel sorry for them, when in fact we need to acknowledge the fact that they got in that position in the first place because they're criminals and they're breaking the law. You know what I mean? So we need to watch it with the titles that we give people and, you know, just, I don't know, not be so extra about it, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's talk about the very last topic. Now, I've been talking about this quite a bit, and that is, can I say it? Can I say it? That is the virus. See how I did that? All right, so let's talk about the virus. So they are now very close, as in today, about to approve the second vaccine for the virus, which is going to be coming from Moderna. Now, the first one came from Pfizer. The second one is going to come from Moderna. And if approved, this is going to release 6 million doses that will be shipped to over 160 locations, or I think that is actually what it's at now, but it'll be more locations on top of that. So, you know, they're going to be able to distribute the vaccine to more people, which means millions of more people could be receiving it as early as next week. Now, as far as, because I know a lot of people have talked about, what did I do with it? A lot of people have talked about their preference for which vaccine they would like to get, Moderna or Pfizer. I want to be very, very clear that you do not have a choice on which vaccine you go with, okay? It's all dependent on where you live and what is available at the place that you get your vaccine at, okay? So as far as a comparison, I want to go down the comparison table between Moderna and Pfizer, okay? This is effectiveness wise. So both of them are going to require 2 doses. Pfizer has to be a difference of 21 days. So when you get the first shot, 21 days later, you have to get the second shot. Moderna is going to be 28 days, okay? Both have the mRNA, which is the secret sauce, which is basically COVID-19's genetic code, okay? So both of them have that in there, which obviously they would have to have that in there for them to be labeled a vaccine for COVID-19. And both of them have a 95% effective rate. Now, I want to explain the effective rate because the effective rate doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It means that it's 95% effective protecting you, not necessarily protecting you against the virus itself, but protecting you against a more severe reaction had you not gotten the vaccine and you're just fighting it, you know, raw dog, if that makes sense, okay? They both need to be stored at cold temperatures. However, the Pfizer vaccine has to be 94 degrees below Fahrenheit, and the Moderna vaccine can be kept in a regular freezer at -4 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? I have been trying to do some research on why one is so drastic and the other one is not, because 94 degrees below Fahrenheit is really, really cold. So I'm really curious why those two have such a difference. If you know, drop a comment in the box below because you would save me tons of time. All right. As far as the Pfizer vaccine goes, this vaccine is good for ages 16 and up, and the Moderna vaccine is good for ages 18 and up. The side effects seem to be pretty similar across the board. They both have pain at the injection site, headaches, fevers, fatigue, chills, muscle and joint pain, which is your typical warning that you get when you get any vaccine. However, the Moderna vaccine seems to have a little bit more severe side effects after the second dose, okay? So severe side effects in the study that they did with the people that volunteered for this seem to be pretty rare and seem to be pretty temporary according to the information that they've released. But there has been 3 cases of people getting Bell's palsy, which is basically facial paralysis. So that's a little bit scary. And I don't know if some of you guys have seen the video floating around of the nurse that got it, and she literally was talking about it and just passed out.
I'm sorry, I'm feeling really dizzy. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think she might be the 3rd person now of the group that was getting the vaccine, like on live TV, that had some weird adverse reaction. Now, she's the first one that I saw had an actual reaction on TV, like literally seconds after. But what was interesting was they interviewed her after the fact, and she said, well, you know, I tend to pass out when I get any type of pain. So that led me to think, well, wait a minute. Everybody who's gotten this shot on TV, the first thing they say is, how did you feel? Did it hurt? And they say no. Now I get pain is relative between different people, but that leads me to think that the shot hurt her in some way. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. Now it'll be interesting how they will, I guess, I don't know how they'll figure it out, because if you have to be a certain age to get one and a certain age to get another, it'll be interesting to figure out how they're going to direct you on where to go get the shot. Let's just say, like in your county, for instance, if they all have Pfizer, if they all have Moderna, how that's going to work. So I don't know about that yet. Now, how long does the protection last once you get the shot? This is one of the unknowns that they don't know yet. So this is going to take years and years to figure out. And I want to stress the fact that everybody that is getting this vaccine or choosing to get this vaccine, you're basically the test dummies for this, okay, to see how long it lasts. So they don't even know. So you could be getting this vaccine and it only protects you for up to a year, or it could protect you for a long time. Even those of us that have had COVID, they don't know how long the antibodies protect us in our body. Okay, so that's really interesting. Now, this morning, the vice president, his wife, and the Surgeon General all got the COVID vaccine on live TV. But I will say, like, I don't understand why they're giving this like the publicity of a blockbuster movie. I'm not really impressed because I don't know what you're getting in that vaccine. I don't know if they're just shooting you up with like water or nothing. I don't know. In fact, I'm going to put an image or a video, a short video up here with no sound while I'm talking. But there was this lady on the news, another televised one, that she was getting the vaccine in her shot, and the little thing that you press down on to, you know, release the medication when you're giving the shot was already down to begin with. Like there was nothing going in her arm. So that makes you wonder, you know, are people getting legit vaccines? So I don't know what's going to go on there, but I will stress this again. For me personally, I have chosen to forego getting any vaccine. And I'm not talking about just COVID. I don't get the flu vaccine. Of course, when I was younger, I got, the vaccines you have to get when you're born. But as an adult, I've chosen not to get the flu vaccine, and I will choose not to get the COVID vaccine. At the end of the day, out of 311,000 cases in the U.S., out of 311,000 deaths in the U.S. from COVID, from 17 million cases, the percentages just don't justify, for me personally, to get this shot. Like I said before in previous videos, there are about 4 or 5 other diseases and viruses that kill way more people than this one does. So for me, right now, I am going to abstain from it. You let me know what you guys think in the comments box below. All the topics that I talked about, I need to hear what you think. Do you like this format? Do you want me to do more things like this? Let me know. I'm willing to switch it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.